you sometimes feel as though the supply, the chain of supply, the tube between you and your prosperity in all areas is a bit blocked? Do you sometimes feel as though no matter how hard you struggle and strive to get the things that you desire, there's just something in the way of you receiving all that is yours? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Welcome. This is Rosemary Nonny Knight, RNK for short, and this is the Deliberate Life Stream. And yes, we're talking about unblocking the prosperity supply. I do believe that for all of us, every single person on this planet, prosperity is your divine heritage. It is yours. It is yours to claim, to use, to live in. It is yours. You have access to an unlimited supply of whatever it is that you need to make life feel easy and amazing and full of joy and laughter. We all have this access. And yet, I know that I've lived a life at times where it felt blocked, where the supply felt blocked, where it felt as though it was just me trying to make things happen. Yeah, I've been one, since I was born, I've been one to pray and seek the divine and all of that stuff. And yet, there were times when it really felt as though there was just something blocking me from that. And it was just me having to work it all out alone. I had to work very hard. I had to, do things that I didn't always want to do in order to receive the supply. And maybe you feel that way right now. Because I was sitting down here doing my quiet time this morning, and I had this impression for all of us that it's almost like there was a tube. Imagine like water coming from a well somewhere and coming to reach you. So you have this supply of water. But the tubes through which the water comes through is full of gump and blocked up with sand and really crusty stuff. And so the water can't make its way through the tubes. It tries to, and it comes in little drips and drops. And you know what? I've lived in a third world country where actually water through a tap was a privilege, not a right. Basically, so I know what that's like, where the water is not coming through, okay? And it feels like I had to carry buckets of water on my head and carry them for miles in order to get water to use, particularly when I was at school. At home, we had to build our own well and all of this stuff in order to make sure we had a supply of water coming through all the time. And then you'd have to get a water tanker to come through and supply your well, ultimately, basically, in order for you to get water, or to supply your tank in order for you to have water. So I've experienced a dearth of water. I've experienced the lack of water. So you have these tubes or these pipes through which water should flow, but it doesn't, because for whatever reason it is blocked. And that's how it sometimes feels with your prosperity, doesn't it? Where it feels as though, the theory of it, that ultimately it is your divine heritage. You should be living a life of fullness, and you should be abundant in all areas and free and fulfilled and all that stuff. You kind of sing it, you even say the words, especially if you're a religious person. You sing and say it and pray it, and yet it's not always your experience. It feels as though even the wisdom to create it is hard to hear. And I got this impression, of this pipe, this supply being blocked, and that it's blocked by your ideas of how it must come. You've been brought up in a certain way with certain ideas of things that you have to do in order to prove yourself worthy, in order for the divine to hear you. But what if those ideas were wrong? What if you are putting conditions where there need not be any condition, and that those conditions are blocking your supply? You've been convinced that you have to work yourself into the grave in order to actually receive any good thing. What if actually all of that work is keeping you from the real work that you need to do in order to receive your unlimited supply? What if you're just not allowing yourself to dig deep into the wisdom that could be yours? What if your ideas of how things have to work is the problem? Because you want it to come this way or no way. It's almost like you want to prove the truth of your ideas when your ideas are actually holding you back from experiencing prosperity in all ways. I remember fairly recently, Papa having to say to me, stop doing about 80% of what you're doing because it's getting in the way of what you do need to do in order to move into the next level for you. And that was scary to me because I had ideas of how things had to work. I've worked with coaches and everything, and this is the way they taught me that I have to do things this way and that way, and unless you do it that way, then you have no chance. And to trust that actually the divine supply can come in an easier way felt like I was copping out, felt like I was trying to find some kind of easy street method, as if it was easy, basically. And so suddenly all the things that I had claimed to believe to be true, I had to put to the test. Were they true? Did I really believe that all my needs would be taken care of? That all I needed to do was do the thing that I was called to do and trust that actually prosperity would find its way to me? Which is not to say that there isn't physical work to do. Of course, there is some physical work to do, but you can come from a place of guidance rather than a place of, this is what the next guru, the next other marketing guru up there said I have to do, and I must do it in this way, and unless I do it in this way, then it won't work. Or unless I pray in this way, because that's what the religious guru said I had to do, basically, and unless I do it that way, then it's not going to work. What if all of that is nonsense? What if all of that is blocking your supply because you're so committed to acting in a certain way instead of being committed to hearing that intuitive guidance and following through on those intuitive nudges? What if you can just shake free of this idea of how things have to come and instead trust that as you keep your eyes on your big vision, not your false fake vision that somebody told you this is the only thing you can get, and so you decided, well, I better limit my ideas. Why not go for the whole big vision and also trust that the person who put the vision within you will be faithful to complete it? That if you will just let loose of these ideas of how things have to come, of all these conditions you place on the universe, on the divine, on how things must come because this is what you've been taught, and so there is no other way. What if there is lots of other ways? What if you could just let go of these ideas of how things must be and open yourself up to things being more expansive, more available than you've ever believed to be possible? I know it feels almost like I'm speaking in vague terms, but you know, because there's a resonance inside of your heart of what I'm saying here. There are some questions within you of things that you've believed, but you're too scared to really fully follow through on those questions. Because to follow through on those questions may mean letting go of people, of religious organizations, of dogma, of ways of doing things that have given you a certain amount of success, but nowhere near where you know you are born to be. And it's going to take more courage in order for you to step into the unlimited supply, to dare to follow through on those questions that you have and actually see if there's a more expansive way of living. But are you willing to do that? If it means that you step into prosperity in a fuller, more abundant way. You are an unlimited creator. You really are. The words you speak, the thoughts you think, these things are powerful. But you've been limited for so long that you've forgotten your power. And I am here to wake you up to the fact that yes, the prosperity is your divine right, and it should come a lot easier than you've allowed it to so far. So are you willing to reconsider some of what you've believed so that you can break free and allow the pipe of supply to run free so that you do have access to that internal wisdom You do have access to all prosperity in all areas. Have a think about it. It's time for you to rise, honey. And hey, if you want to put some of these prosperity principles to the test, join me for the simple 7-day miracle experiment. People are getting amazing results with it, the ones that do it. Sometimes the simple things are the hardest things to do. Come listen into the webinar that I do on a Monday. I'll give you the simple things to do. Do them for 7 days, and you will experience a miracle. I don't always like to talk about miracles because I'm not looking for people who are not willing to do what it really takes. I'm just looking for some kind of magic bullet. That's not what I'm proposing here. Because, well, no, it's not what I'm proposing here. What I am saying, however, is that if you're willing to do some simple things, you will tap into the divine supply, and it's unlimited. So pop over to rosemarynonnyknight.com/7-day miracle and join in. I'll just type that out for you, rosemarynonnyknight.com/7-day miracle. Come join in. It'll be great to have you, and it'll be great to see what you experience in the 7 days. Much amazing love.